Yahshuah, the great shepherd. Exodus 22:9. Somebody get Exodus 22:9. And this is part of the Torah portion. And this just lines up so perfect with Yahshuah being our great shepherd. And see, we're going to see some things today. How many know that we were stolen? When Adam and Hava sinned, we were stolen. We were taken by the hands of the enemy. Then the next person get Ezekiel 34:16. Leviticus 6:4. Someone get, whoever has Exodus 22:9. And then the next person get Leviticus 6:4. And then Ezekiel 34:16. 34:16. Who has Exodus 22:9? Go ahead and read.
For every matter of transgression, for ox, for donkey, for sheep, for garment, for whatever is lost.
Is lost. Go ahead.
Which another claims to be his.
Come on.
Let the matter of them both come before Elohim. And whomever Elohim declares wrong, repays double to his neighbor.
Whoever Yahweh, whoever Elohim declares wrong, pays what? Double to his neighbor. Hallelujah. Who has Leviticus 6:4? Leviticus 6:4.
Then it shall be, because he has sinned and is guilty, that he shall restore that which he took violently away.
Come on.
Or the thing which he has deceitfully gotten, or that which was delivered him to keep, or the lost thing which he found.
Or the lost thing which he found. Who has Ezekiel 34:16? 34:16. Now we're talking about, I came for what was lost. I came for what I lost. Yahshuah, the great shepherd. Who has Ezekiel 34:16?
I shall seek out the lost and bring back the strayed, and I shall bind up the broken and strengthen what was sick. But the fat and the strong I shall destroy.
Come on.
I shall feed them with right rulers.
To who? To those who were lost, but brought back, who had strayed. Someone else get Matthew 18:11. Matthew 18:11. And the other person get Luke 19:10. We're talking about Yahshuah being the great shepherd. Luke 19:10. And then someone else get Matthew 15:24. 15:24. Okay, who has Matthew 18:11?
For the Son of Adam has come to save what was lost.
He came for what?
To save
To save what was lost. Hallelujah. Come on, kids. Who has Luke 19:10?
For the Son of Adam has come to seek and to save what was lost.
He reiterates it again. To save what was what?
Lost.
What was lost. Matthew 15:24.
But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
Come on, what are you saying there? He said, I was sent only to recover what I had lost.
Wow.
The house of Israel.
Hallelujah.
So, let's look. Let's look a little deeper here. We're going to look at what was lost. First, let's start with the word. Let's go. Let's go to what was lost. John 10:24 through 29. Somebody get John 10, 24 through 29. Yahshua's sheep. Yahweh is going to build some folks up in here today to understand that you are what was lost. That he's coming to redeem you so that you will have expectation of his return. John 10, 24 through 29.
So the
Go ahead, George.
So the Yehudim surrounded him and said to him, "How long do you keep us in suspense? If you are the Messiah, say to us plainly." Yahshua answered them, "I have told you, and you do not believe. The works that I do in my Father's name, they bear witness concerning me. But you do not believe because you are not of my sheep. I say to you, my sheep hear my voice.
Come on.
And I know them, and they follow me.
Come on.
And I give them everlasting life, and they shall by no means ever perish. And no one shall snatch them out of my hand. My Father, who has given them to me, is greater than all. And no one is able to snatch them out of my Father's hand."
Hallelujah. I came to redeem what was mine. That's why I came. His sheep. Now we're going to get some characteristics of Yahweh's sheep, of Yahshua's sheep, of those who he said, "I came to recover what was mine." Exodus 22 and 9. It says, "For every matter of transgression," that we go back to that, "of ox, for donkey, for sheep, for garment, or for whatever is lost, whichever another claims to be his." The enemy claimed us to be his because in the garden, when Adam and Hawa sinned, they brought sin into the earth. We no longer became of the hand, the only seed that was in the earth.
That's right.
But the enemy planted his seed in the earth.
That's right.
So Yahweh is making it clear. And Yahshua told him, "You're not my sheep. You're not mine. You don't belong to me. Because if you did, you wouldn't be asking me a dumb question like, am I the Messiah?"
Hallelujah.
I'm healing the sick, raising the dead, giving sight to the blind, making dumb spirits speak out and talk. And you asking me, am I the Messiah? When you teach in your Talmudic writings that the Messiah will come, healing the sick, raising the dead, making dumb spirits speak, giving sight to the blind, why would you ask me a dumb question like that? Because you're not mine. You don't recognize me. You're not mine. So I didn't come for you. I came to regain those who would look at my works and don't know a word about the Talmudic writings, but they would see my works and they would say, "That is the Messiah." Those are my sheep. That's who I came to reclaim. That's who I came to bring back. Psalms 119 and 176 says, "And I have strayed like a lost sheep. Seek your servant, for I have not forgotten your commands." Jeremiah 50 and 6. Now we're talking about who are the sheep that Yahshua is talking about. Who are those who are lost that I came back to reclaim? Jeremiah 50 and 6. "My people have been wandering sheep. Their shepherds have led them astray." Those who say, "Just tell us, are you the Messiah or not?" He said they have led them astray, turning them away on the mountains. Have they gone from mountain to hill? They have forgotten their resting place, their Shabbat. They have forgotten that place of rest. And that word wandering actually means lost. or strayed or perishing. Matthew 10:6 said, but rather he told Messiah Yahshuah told his disciples, the 70 men that he sent out, he said, go to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. He said, do not go by the way of the Gentiles.
That's right.
What? Why isn't somebody asking that question? Why isn't somebody in the church asking their pastor, if we are Gentiles, Yahshua says right here, he told them to not go by the way of the Gentiles, but go to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But I guarantee you their little pastor will say, oh, that's because Paul was called to the Gentiles. Liar. You're not correct. Paul went to those who Father Yahweh had already selected and chosen, who were his sheep. That's why Yahshua said, there is sheep that I have that are not in his fold. Them I must bring also. They are mine also.
Hallelujah.
I came to get what was mine. Hebrews 1:9. You have loved righteousness and hated lawlessness. This is the characteristic of the sheep. Hebrews 1:9. You have loved righteousness and hated lawlessness. Because of this, Elohim, your Elohim, has anointed you with the oil of gladness more than your companions. Why? Because you have loved righteousness and hated lawlessness. That's the characteristics of Father Yahweh's sheep. Okay, now, since we brought the characteristics of his sheep, now we are going to look at the characteristics of those who are not his sheep. Daniel 7:25. And it speaks words against the Most High. And it wears out the set apart ones. Who's set apart? We are. Of the Most High. And it intends to do what? Change appointed times, the Sabbath, all of the holy days, and law. Thou shalt believe and keep, shall not have any other God before me. Change the laws. And they are given into his hand for a time, times, and half time.
There you go.
Another word for appointed times is festival. It's feast. These are the characteristics of a lawless one. Those who are not the sheep of the Most High. Matthew 7:23. And then I shall declare to them, I never knew you. Depart from me, you who work lawlessness. Matthew 13:41. The son of Adam shall send out his messengers, and they shall gather out of his reign all the stumbling blocks and those doing lawlessness. Somebody say, if you do lawlessness, that makes you a stumbling block. Matthew 23:28. So you too outwardly indeed appear righteous to them, but inside you are filled with hypocrisy and lawlessness. This is the characteristics of those who are not the sheep that Yahshua came. Those who are not of the lost ones. Matthew 24:12. And because of the increase in lawlessness, the love of many shall become cold. Is this not a cold society? Is this not cold? Anytime you can kill a child, and I'm just going to keep saying, I don't care what anybody says, anytime you can kill a child, even if the child was walking down the street with a knife in his hand, even if he was walking down the street with a knife in his hand, he's walking down the street with an iced tea and a pack of Skittles, and you blow him away and act like you did God's work. Come on. You think it's cold? You think the heart is cold? Has it become cold?
That's right.
That's what lawlessness does for you. Romans 6:19. I speak as a man because of the weakness of your flesh, even as you did present your members as servants of uncleanness and of lawlessness, resulting in lawlessness. How can lawlessness result in righteousness? Is that possible? Can lawlessness result from righteousness? If you are righteous, you are going to be lawful. What do people say? Oh, she's a good law-abiding citizen. Interesting they can say that and be okay with it. But as soon as you go into church on Sunday morning, they tell you, no, we no longer under the law. So all of y'all in there are lawless and not law-abiding citizens? So now, present your members as servants of righteousness, resulting in set-apartness. And that's Rabbi Shaul. That's Paul. Paul said that. Paul, Apostle Paul, the emissary to the Gentiles. So now, present your members as servants of righteousness, resulting in set-apartness. So what is set-apartness and righteousness? It is being lawful, keeping the law. That love and that joy and that, running to serve and to run to do and to take part in his holy days because they're blessed. And just like Father Yahweh said a blessing on the Sabbath, he said a blessing in his feast days. Because you know what? If you just keep the Sabbath and you don't ever do a feast day, you're still lacking. You're lacking. You're lacking. You're lacking. Those are his appointed times. When he starts in Leviticus 23, he starts out with the Sabbath. And he goes right on down. He doesn't stop.
That's right.
He goes on down till he gets to Tabernacles. So if we're going to keep one, you better be keeping the rest of them. And then not doing tabernacles is like you get a bride. Oh, how many women got married in here? How many women have been married and went through the preparation of getting married? I don't care if you're not married now, that's okay. But those who went through the preparation of getting married, yes, there are many of us in here. Now, how much of a headache is it? I had a headache for about 8 months. I had women calling me, I don't want to wear that color. I don't like to wear that dress hood. The flower's not ready. The cake too small. This going on. We can't get this. This time is off. That time, the guys walking around not trying to get their tuxedos. I'm like, you know what? I finally got to a place you're going to wear that dress. I would have been on that show that comes on TV. I would have been on that show because I was a bridezilla. I became a bridezilla. I was like, I don't care if you don't like the color. I really don't care. If you don't like it, you're going to wear it. Headache for 8 months. But that's like going to Passover. At your beginning of your bridal, you're preparing for the wedding. You come on down and you get the flowers. You get the place lined up. The church is lined up. You get the reception hall. You get your caterers. You're on down into Shavuot. And then you're making your announcements out to people. Save the date. All of the craziness that goes with going to the place. Looking at 1,000,001 invitations. Trying to make a decision. Anybody knows that if you give a woman too many choices, you got a problem. You give them 2 or 3 choices, and that's it. But if we got to go through 5 or 6, 10 And here's the time that you're getting ready to walk down the aisle, and you sitting at home chilling out in front of the TV set. Wedding dress that you purchased, thousands of dollars hanging on the wall. And you sitting there watching SpongeBob SquarePants. All that preparation to not go and walk down the aisle. I am amazed that my husband went ahead and married me after I walked down that aisle, because I know I'm looking back at the pictures and I'm like, gosh, I was tired. Look at my face. But when I saw him, everything lit up.
Hallelujah.
Everything came to life. No matter how tired I was, everything came to life. That's what Tabernacles is. That we're waiting to get to that place. That expectation has got to be there. I'm going to walk down the aisle. I'm going to be the bride of Messiah. And I'm going to get there and I'm going to see my Mashiach.
Yeah.
And all of this trouble, all of this garbage, all of the foolishness, all of the times that people didn't want to give you time off, all of the time you got to go around and people taking sneers and mockery about you, all of that stuff melts away. Because you see him face to face. My Messiah. This is what I've been working for. Father, I started at Passover. Here I am in Tabernacles. I'm here at the bridal, at the wedding. And I'm here with my husband. That's what Tabernacles is. That's what the feasts are all about. That's what Yahshuah is all about. That's what our expectation and our hope is all about. And we got to get there, y'all. We got to get to a place where we, in January, and I know everybody doesn't have it, and I praise Father Yahweh. I know that everybody doesn't have a job like I do where I can go in and I can do that. Father, yes, he has blessed me tremendously, and I thank him every day, because I know not everybody has it like that. But when we get vacation time on our jobs, I'm going to tell you what Rabbis does. When we sit down and the feast committee gets those dates, and they come to leadership and we go over them and say, yes, this is correct, I go to work and I look at my calendar and I say, I need 84. Okay. I need 84 hours off. That's coming off the top. I don't use that for vacation. I don't care where any rabbi want to go. We better go on Friday and come back on Sunday, because I'm not taken from my tabernacle days. I'm not taken from my feast days. I'm not taken from first day of unleavened bread, last day of unleavened bread. Those days you take off the top. There you go, right there. Now, I have this extra time, so if we want to go away, or if we want to have a little vacation during the summer, we can do that. I'm not telling you, Rabbis is not judging anyone in that area, because not everybody has it like that. But if it's in your heart to want to keep it, do it the best that you possibly can. And he will bless you. I guarantee you. I will stand him. I'll say like we used to say when we were kids, bet me. Bet me. I'll bet you that he'll make it. He'll make it right. And that your supervisors, your people that you work with, will want to give you time, will want to allow for time, will allow for things. And you will not miss a beat. You won't miss anything. Because Father Yahweh is trustworthy. And He's true.
Yes.
And He wants you to keep the Sabbath. He wants you to keep the holy days. He commands us to. Why would He command us to and then make it to where we can't do it?
Right.
That doesn't make sense. He wants to show us our heart. If it's in your heart to keep it, you'll keep it. So I'm here to tell you, if you can only do one day at Tabernacles, you need to do that one day. Give it to Him. And these are the places where we step out on belief. That truly, back in the church, that's one thing they said that was true. Step out on faith. That's good. That's right. Step out on belief. Just believe it. Sometimes you just have to say, I don't know how this is going to work out. Father, I'm not seeing it. Because I don't know how we're going to do this. But you know what? I believe you. And I trust you. Because you're my provider. And you're my keeper. And you said in your word that if my heart would be towards you, you'll be towards me. So I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what my boss says about not giving me time off. We got witnesses.
That's right.
He will fight your battle for you. But you got to first step out. You can't stand back talking about, well, you know. No. You have to step out.
Wow.
You have to step out. We need to stop being little.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Come on now. Man up. What in the world? We'll run our mouth about everything else. Now when it's time to go in there and tell our boss we need time off for the holy day. Yeah, I don't want to say nothing. Yeah, run your big mouth now. That's the time to run your mouth. Get your hind parts in that office and say, look, I keep the holy days of the Bible and I need this time off. What can you do for me? We'll walk into a car dealership and do that, will we not, George? I want that car. What can you do for me? Walk in your boss office and say, I need 5 days off. I need 8 days off for Tabernacles. What can you do for me? Well, you haven't been here that long. Yeah, that's why I'm here. What can you do for me?
That's right.
Father Yahweh will work it out. But we gotta believe. Because we can't do all that preparation, y'all, and get right to the wedding and be at home sitting down watching SpongeBob. Come on. That don't make good sense. Everybody else is there. Everybody else sitting in the audience. Preacher standing up there. Yahshuah, your husband, is there.
Right.
And you home. And then you come back after Tabernacles. Oh, y'all had a good time? Oh, that's good. That was your wedding. That was your time with the Most High. Your time. We got to take these days personal.
Yes.
This is my day with my Messiah. And nobody's going to mess that up for me. This is my time. So I'm going to, okay, boss, you don't want to give me the time off? Okay, I'm going to go and pray about that. And walk right on out. You want to spook somebody really? Still?
Right.
Tell them you're going to pray. I'm going to pray about that. I guarantee you they'll come back when you come in the next day. Come to my office, please. I decided I'm going to give you the time off. Nobody will pray and put on them. Because see, they don't know what you're praying. And they don't know who you're praying to. So what we've got to get to a place where we will believe and we will trust, regardless to our situation. Too many times we look at us. We look at our resources. Stop looking at your resources. Yahweh doesn't use yours. He uses his. And what are his resources? the cattle on the thousands of hills. That's what his resources are. He owns all the gold in the gold mines and the diamonds in the diamond mines. He owns all of that. Those are his resources. That's what he uses. And that's why when me and Rabbi needed to go, people were just giving us stuff. Giving us stuff. I'm telling y'all, people were just walking up to us, and then even when we were in the camp, people were walking up to us, it's like, thank you. Thank you. I mean, your father just told me to just get this. Okay, thank you. And then we got home from Tabernacles, and I had done a little video on Hebrew worship dance, and I'm going to close out. I had done a little video on Hebrew worship dance, and I was teaching people the dance and everything. So we made some videos, and we were selling them. And selling them for like, what, $10 or something like that. People were buying them up like crazy. I was like, wait. I made the video myself, y'all. I took a class in college on mass communication and learned how to work all the little things and what to do. So I made the little videos myself. I'm telling you, most times, Rosa came out, Rosa, I tell you, she was my help. She manned the camera sometimes, but sometimes Rosa couldn't make it. So sometimes in that room would be me and the camera. And I would turn the camera on and run in front of it and then start, hello, dance people. You know, and I would do my little dance and be going around. People bought those videos. And I was like, wow, Father Yahweh. People actually bought those videos. And then what happened, one of the ladies who we were at the Tabernacles, we came home, you know, and this was a time we had no jobs. We had no income at the time. And we were so strapped for money. I mean, but, you know, we never complained and said, Father, what is going on here? I just kept putting out my interviews or resumes out. Rabbi was making his changeover from the private sector, school to public sector. And we're sitting there and we're like, okay, Father Yahweh, you know. And I go to the mailbox, pull some mail out, and it's a letter in there from somebody, I didn't know who it was, addressed to me. And so I got the letter, and I brought it in to the house, and I opened it up, and there was a check in there for $300. And I said, what in the world? $300. And I opened up the little letter, and she said, Alvina, hi, you might not remember me, but my name is blah, 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 and I took your Hebrew dance class, and I ended up with one of your videos, and I don't remember if I paid for it. So this is my payment for the video. $300! I'm like, they want $300. I was like, Father Yahweh, you know what? I do not question you anymore, and I definitely don't doubt what you can do for me. Because that's what he'll do. But we got to believe it, and we got to trust him. Hallelujah. Resulting in lawlessness. 2 Corinthians 6:14. Do not become unevenly yoked. This is a problem with a lot of us. Unevenly yoked with unbelievers. For what partnership have righteousness with lawlessness? Okay. Well, that brings it to a little different twist here. Because if lawlessness is against righteousness, that means unrighteousness is against the law. Am I reading that right? Y'all, is that? I think that's common sense. And what fellowship has light with darkness? So people want to both grope around in the darkness. That's fine. That's what Yahweh said that they would do. That they would grope around in the noonday. Grope, and that's what they do. 2 Thessalonians 2:3. Let no one deceive you in any way, because the falling away is to come first, And the man of lawlessness, you think if you're lawless, you're going to be able to tell the man of lawlessness when he comes? You're going to think he's right, because you are lawless yourself. So we are going to have, get ready y'all, get ready, because it's coming down the pipe right now. That we are going, we have Christians standing in a place of lawlessness and standing behind a man who is declaring his lawlessness right now. But you see their little bumper stickers? And they say, regardless, that's my man, I'm going to vote for him. Go right ahead. Because you know what? If you can't see that that man right there is lawless, when the anti-Messiah comes, you're going to be able to tell he's lawless? No. That's why we've got to cry out. We've got to cry out against this and tell people you're in a lawless walk. And when the anti-Messiah comes, he is going to lead you astray very easily. It's not going to be hard. People are going to go, and they're going to go willingly, led astray. Because all of this has been coming, we're getting to the culmination of what all those people did in casting the law to the side. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 7. For the secret of lawlessness is already at work, only until he who now restrains comes out of the midst. Titus 2:14. He gave himself to us to redeem us from what?
All lawlessness.
Oh. Who is it talking about? It's talking about Yahshuah. So, Pastor, tell me how you can stand up in the pulpit and say we are no longer under the law. When Titus 2 and 14 says, who gave himself, who? Yahshuah, gave himself for us to redeem us from all lawlessness. And then you stand up and say, we're no longer under the law, y'all. We're free. But Yahshuah came to redeem us from all lawlessness and to cleanse for himself a people. Who? His own possession. Who? Ardent with good works. What's good works? Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not bear false witness against your neighbor. Keep the Sabbath. Keep it holy. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not steal. Don't have any other gods before the Most High. Those are your good works. Ardent with good works. That's his possession. That's who he came to retrieve. I came to get what was lost. 1 John 3 and 4 says, everyone doing sin also does what? Lawlessness. For sin is lawlessness. Sin is transgression of the law. Luke 16 and 10. He who is trustworthy and what is least. And this is what this is the most, one of the most important points I want to get over to everyone today. He who is trustworthy, Luke 16 and 10. Yahshuah says he who is trustworthy in what is least is trustworthy also in much. And he says, and he who is unrighteous in what is least is unrighteous also in much. The relationship that you have with your spouse. And I use spouse because that's about the closest relationship that you can have with a person. The relationship you have with your spouse, that's the relationship you have with Yahweh. If you slipping and ducking and dodging and doing stuff you ain't got no business doing, sitting on your job talking about, I can look. Don't nothing say I can look. That's the most ignorant statement I heard in my life. You a married woman. What are you doing looking at him? Why are you looking at him like that? And then you're going to sit there. Now, apparently, you feel guilty because now you're looking at me talking about, nothing say I can look. What you telling me for? I ain't looking at him. Right. I don't think I'm the one that you got to answer to. Right. You have to answer to the Most High. Hallelujah. Let Him judge. That's right. Trustworthiness. If you can't do it with the little, with the small things, you're not going to do it with the big thing. If you cannot keep the Sabbath now, if you won't keep it now, if everything that happens to you pulls you away from the Sabbath, that's least. I'm telling y'all, that's the smallest thing that we could do in the keeping of Father Yahweh's laws. Because guess what? Rest. Gather together. Praise Father Yahweh. Hallelujah. Go home and rest some more. That's like the simplest thing that you can possibly do. So now, you can't do that, but you're going to reject the anti-Messiah when he comes and puts a gun to your head and says, either you reject Christ or I'm going to blow your head off. Oh, yeah, right. You're going to say, I will not reject my Messiah. Yeah, right. You will not say that. You will go on and be a sheep led to slaughter like everybody else. Because you'll be scared for your life. If you don't do it now, you're not going to do it then. And I say the same thing when it comes down to the feast days. If you're not going to do it now, you're not going to do it then. Father Yahweh's character is truth. And we are supposed to be mimicking His truth. Yahshuah came in truth. He was the embodiment of truth. He is that pure essence of Yahweh in the earth. And if He can walk it out, you can walk it out. He would not give us an unattainable goal. That's absolutely ludicrous. When my children were young, it would be stupid for me to say, okay, Calvin, go down the street to the corner store and get a gallon of milk. He's 12 years old. He ain't got no job. And I'm looking at him, why aren't you going to get the milk? Well, I don't have any money. Don't tell me you don't have any money. Go get the gallon of milk. Is that not ludicrous? I need some milk. I need him to go to get the milk. So what do I need to do? I need to go in my pocket. I need to draw out some funds. And I need to give it to the young man so he can go do what I asked him to do and bring back my package. That's what Yahshuah did. Yahshuah was given everything that he needed in order to do what he needed to do here. And then when he left, before he left, he prayed a prayer to Father Yahweh and said, I don't pray for the world. So where do these people get this stuff? Oh God, Jesus loved everybody. Where did he say that? Where's that? Show me that in the Word. He doesn't say that. In John 17:5-10, he makes it clear that he did not come for the world, but he came to those who belong to Yahweh the Most High. And he, Yahshuah, has retrieved them and will present them faultless before Yahweh's throne. This is our expectation. Our expectation should be to go to tabernacles and dwell with our King. Sit at his feet. But if we never experience tabernacles, there's no expectation, y'all. I don't know what I'm missing. You can tell me all day long. Me and Rabbi had the blessed opportunity to go on a cruise and go down to Nassau, go down to the Bahamas and have a good time. But you can tell me that all day long. If I never go and I have no expectation. But if somebody goes, they're like, wow, man, every year we go on this cruise and we have a great time and there's all of this going on and you eat until you just drop and they have all kinds of stuff going on and the person is looking at you just like they do with us with Sabbath. Oh, there's no expectation because I haven't experienced it. So what do we have to do? We need to experience. Just like we experienced Passover, unleavened bread, Shavuot, celebrating with each other. And you know what, y'all? We have to get to a place where we do it, and we do it until we become one with it. Because Yahshuah was the Word that was made flesh. And that happened so that he could make the flesh Word. We got to become Word. As he became, the Word became flesh. He came to deliver us. We were what is lost. He came to grab us and to take us back. Retrieve us of what the enemy had stolen. He said, I came to get what was lost. He said it's just like the prodigal son, where the two are there and the young man says, give me everything that's owed to me and I'm going to leave. We did that. We went and squandered our inheritance. That's what our forefathers did. That's why we're sitting here in the United States of America right now, being mistreated and still oppressed. That's why we're here. Because somebody squandered our inheritance. But then what does Father Yahweh say later on? Yahshuah said later on in the parable that the man ends up where? In the worst place he could ever be. In a pig trough. Looking at the pig's food, the pig's pods, saying, getting ready, wanting to eat it. And then he comes to his senses and says, what in the world am I doing? What am I doing in here? My father owns the cattle on the thousands of hills. That's why I tell y'all, stop speaking defeatism. Stop saying I can't. Take that out of your vocabulary. We didn't allow our children to say I can't when they were growing up. No, you don't say I can't. Yes, you can. And you do your best to do it. And as you do your best, Father Yahweh will increase you and make you that mighty.
We're going to celebrate the name of Yahweh in this place. We're going to give him praise, give him glory, and scream and shout his praises. Hallelujah! Hallelujah! Praise his name. His name is Yahweh. Yahweh. We're going to scream his name to the top of our lungs in this place today. Hallelujah. Woo! All right, it's real simple. Here we go. Just say it. Yahweh. Yahweh. God is great, yeah. And he's great. Yahweh. Yahweh. He's holy. He's holy. He's righteous. Yahweh. Yahweh.
enjoying Tabernacles. It is a lovely time with the different ministries that have come together, and as we are in fellowship here, we are just enjoying one another.
I'm telling you, it's about, there's 6 ministries that's represented here, and this is growing every year. We have new congregations that come in, and the thing of it is, it's so awesome. It's not about your little assembly here and there, but it's about the coming together. That's awesome about what Tabernacles even represent.
We're trying to reach out to you, my brothers and sisters, near and far, no matter where you are. You need to check it out.